after taking some time out on playing Warframe, and spending quality time with my family during the Christmas season, I'm back with another build video. This time, I will be sharing to you my Condition Overload Goddess Saryn build. But before we proceed to the guide, I would just like to say that the Saryn build that I will be sharing here, is a melee focus build. It will be taking advantage of the Condition Overload mod and the unique abilities of Saryn to proc a lot of status on an enemy, and boost the damage of the Condition Overload mod. If you're looking for a focus farmer, or a ranged Saryn build, then this is not the build you're looking for. However, I definitely suggest that take a look at this build as it's really fun to play with, especially if you like hitting and killing enemies in close quarter combat. Okay, let's begin the guide. Now, this build should have been released a couple of weeks ago, but the problem is, I feel that the build is lacking something. More specifically, it's lacking some survivability as I'm having a hard time dealing with level 100 plus enemies in the past. I've tried several stuff like getting more health, using quick thinking, and even boosting Saryn's armor, but it's not enough. But then I tried lifesteal, and it works pretty well with this Warframe. The first thing I did was to try a Furies with the Winds of Purity mod. It's pretty decent, and in fact, I am highly recommending this setup when you are playing high levels with your Saryn. But, I don't usually use this setup as I'm more of a melee guy. The next thing I did was try out the Healing Return mod with Saryn. It's also decent, and the heal synergies really well with her regenerating augment mod, but when there are lots of heavy gunners and bombards hitting you at the same time, the heal of this setup can't keep up with the damage dealt by the enemies. The last setup I've tried, and the one I'm currently using, is the Life Strike plus regenerating molt. Now, this combo is really perfect for Saryn. Life Strike does give me the much needed lifesteal I need for high level plays. We all know that Life Strike does give us lifesteal per strike, but it also gives us lifesteal over time when we proc toxin, heat or slash to the enemies. And we can proc these status pretty often with Saryn, and with the melee weapons we will be using. The lifesteal over time is really amazing when paired with our regenerating molt augment, and I can say that this combo is really the perfect setup for my playstyle. Okay, now let's take a look at my Saryn build. So after several tests and experimentation, this is what I've come up for my Condition Overload Goddess Saryn build. I have primed continuity so that my Toxic Lash, and as well as my other abilities, will last longer. For a melee Saryn, I think that duration is quite useful, as you won't have to recast your skills again and again. Do take note that we are using Life Strike here, and this mod does consumes a lot of energy to replenish the health we've lost. And that is why I also have Streamline and Primed Flow to support my energy consumption. Now, I also added Hunter Adrenaline for more source of energy restore. Energy consumed by our Life Strike won't be a problem when we have this mod equipped, especially on high levels. And of course, regenerative molt for another option to heal ourselves and serve as decoy so that we can take some enemy aggro away from us. The rejuvenation mod is optional, and as well as handspring. You can choose to equip these mod or replace it with any other mod according to your preference. Also, steel fiber is replaceable, but vitality should always be there for a melee Saryn as it gives us more survivability. Lastly, I have blind rage. Yes, I sacrifice a lot of efficiency because of this mod. Well, the thing is, more power strength will give Saryn's Toxic Lash more damage and more damage mitigation while blocking with your melee weapon. However, that's not the only thing that power strength does. It also gives regenerative molt more heals per tick, which is vital for survivability. Yes, it may not be wise to put this mod because we will be using Life Strike, but Do take note that I built my Saryn with enough duration, so we don't need to cast our skills again and again. And, I have plenty of ways to replenish my lost energy, so, in the end, energy isn't really a problem with this build. Okay, I think I've explained pretty well why I choose to build my Saryn this way. Now, let's talk about the weapons I'm using. In general, any melee weapons that can be modded with condition overload, and can perform really well with this mod, can be used on this Saryn build. Now, there are a couple of weapons out there that are really awesome with condition overload, but I find the Legion, and as well as the Nami Skylar Prime, the best weapon for this build in my opinion. Again, these weapons are not compulsory. They are just my favorite weapons to use on this build. In modding your weapon, just make sure that you have condition overload, of course, and a lot of status on it. If you can add gas, toxin, heat, and even more slash on a weapon, then the better it will perform, as not only that it will boost the damage of your condition overload mod, but it will also help your life strike mod do some more life steal for you. Lastly, the best thing about using a condition overload build for Saryn, is she can utilize this mod really well. We all know that she has guaranteed viral proc with her spores, and toxin proc with her toxic lash. Now, pair these status with your melee weapon, or even your sentinel, which has an Artax, which by the way has 100% cold proc, and you can boost the damage of your condition overload without breaking a sweat. In most cases, I can proc 6 status on an enemy using this build. By the way, if you want to use Legion and Nami Skylar Prime for this build, then here's my build for these weapons. Do take note that I modded these weapons according to my playstyle, and, as always, you can change, replace or just sustain the mods I equip on this weapons. So, there you have it. That's how I build my condition overload goddess Saryn. I do hope that you will enjoy this build, and, if you have some things to suggest, on ways to improve this build, please do write your thoughts on the comment box below. If you enjoy this video, please do me a favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell, if you want to receive fresh and new Warframe videos from me in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on my next video.